Hopefully I'll hear a loud enough salam the first time I say it. And then you won't have to go through like the annoying process of me asking you twice and thrice and fourth time. So, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I'll take it because I don't want to ask you a second time. A lot of people tell me why I don't introduce myself, so whenever I come on stage. So my name is Saad, and that's it. So you guys came to hear him, not me. And inshallah, I'll invite Brother Islam up to the stage. Inshallah, he'll do a short recitation for us, and then we'll take it from there. Brother Islam Sharif.
Our request during Quranic recitation is try not to take pictures, not a show. My request, don't record, absorb. The human body can absorb frequency. This is what we call ruqya. People used to travel great distances so that Quran could be read on them. People traveled great distances so Quran could be read to them. We deflect this vibration, we deflect this recitation when we put something else in front of us to absorb that sound. My humble request to you as your guest, be attentive. Sit up straight. Hear the book of Allah and ask Allah. Say, Allah, I am a sinner. I sin. Y'all might not be sinners. I'm a sinner. Ask God. Whether you believe in God or not, by the way, I welcome everyone from all faiths. Whether you believe in a higher creator or not, gamble tonight. Right? There's 50% chance he is there. And gamble on 50% of a chance that the recitation that I am giving you, the sound that I produce or omit, is none other than the recitation of God Himself. So I request, it would be out of respect for the recitation, it's rather agitating to hear the flashes and to see the clicks of your buttons. Rather do your best, inshallah, to listen. For today's recitation, and I know that's probably not the preference, I will do running translation. On many occasions, we hear qira'ah, and then you enjoy the ups and downs of the voice. We are all students. I was at one point a college student. I would rather that you listen and try to absorb what the actual translation is, and then if time permits at the end, because I truly love it, we'll do qira'ah, which is, for all intents and purposes, it's entertainment. It is beautiful. It's something that I love. I have my students recite to me, and then we recite back, and sometimes I'll recite one ayah and they'll recite the next, and it's magical. But y'all didn't earn any magic yet, so y'all gotta earn it. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. I seek refuge, knowing that I am weaker, with Allah who is greater, from the one who is Satan, ash-shaytan ar-rajim. Satan is cursed and damned, not because he's evil, but because he took his rationale and placed it above the thought process that God asked him. God asked him to make sajda or to prostrate to a clay creature, and he, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, said, prostrate. Iblis, the fire creature, used his rationale and said, I ain't doing that. So we seek refuge from the Creator who is higher, from this part of our frontal lobe, the part of our brain that allows us to lie, so that, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, so that every action after this, with and in the name of Allah. And who is Allah? He is Ar-Rahman, Rahman, Subhan. He is not only the merciful, but the only and the greatest source of mercy is Allah. And who is Allah? Ar-Rahim. He is the one from which we derive all benefits. So when I got here to the hall and I was greeted by your faculty, I benefited from their greeting. I benefited from them giving what I needed. But who put benefit in them? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And let's find out who is this Allah. Alif Lam studying Arabic, I can't translate this to you. So if anything, I don't know, and only Allah knows. كتاب أنزلناه إليك لتخرج الناس من الظلمات إلى النور. A book that you can't understand, nor can I, but we humble ourselves to ask God, well, why did you send us a love letter? Kitabun anzalna, a book that we revealed unto you slowly, in parts, bit by bit, over 23 years, 6 months and 3 days. We revealed a book for one sole purpose, to take mankind from multiple shades of darkness, from depression, anxiety, not feeling well, from feeling like you're too fat or feeling like you're too skinny, from all these shades of inner disquietude, to one state of light, to one state of happiness, to one state of peace. And if we took this peace, it's called Islam, submission, so that I realize I am lower and God is higher. إليك لتخرج الناس من الظلمات إلى النور بإذن ربهم إلى صراط العزيز الحميد. But all of this process, developmental psychology and depression and Zoloft and all of the medication they can give us, it will never be shrouded in anything unless God puts permission in it. God says, this tablet will affect you, it will affect you. This recitation will affect you, it will not. Open the window. Say, oh Allah, oh God, oh whatever you are up there. Open this window and let a breeze from the paradise breeze. Let it blow through my heart. Why? Because only with the permission of God will this book take you from multiple shades of darkness into a single shade of light. إِلَى صِرَاطِ الْعَزِيزِ الْحَمِيدِ. And ultimately it will take you to a straight, consistent path. And who is the owner? Who built this highway? The Aziz. So whether you believe in God or not, guess what? He's already Aziz, overpowering and almighty. And whether you prayed Fajr this morning or not, whether you bowed your head and said there is a God or not, He is Hamid, the one who is most worthy of praise. So I ask you to start my talk today. If all of us in this room didn't pray to God, actually, wait. If all of us in this room didn't believe in God, would it affect His greatness? Not at all. Why? You ask yourself, well, why not? If I don't believe in God, then what kind of God will there be? So Allah actually answers that in the second ayah. Allah الذي له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض. Allah, the one whom is the owner, master, and controller of whatever is in the earth. Because we must say whatever because we have not explored all of space. We have not explored all the vast regions. We don't even know all species of birds. Whatever is in the heavens and whatever is on the earth already submits to the law of Allah. So when a bird flaps his wings and extends them and he glides, he obeys the law of God. So if you don't, guess what? 7 trillion other creatures and molecules and molecular structures already follow him. We, humans, are in the minority. So Allah says, وَوَيْلٌ لِلْكَافِرِينَ مِنْ عَذَابٍ شَدِيدٍ. Sucks for you. If you don't get on the bandwagon now, 7 trillion creatures already do. And why do we live the way that we live our lives? So we can be fashionable, so we can fit in. I'm sorry, we're trying to fit in among 6 billion creatures, when 7 trillion of them are already fashionably following the law of their Creator. So it truly does suck for you. And how much does it suck for you? وَوَيْلٌ لِلْكَافِرِينَ. Wail means, oh, it really sucks for those people. Kafirin, if you look at the word kafirin, it's not a disbeliever. It's someone who rejects ultimate truth. It's the moron who looks outside and says, oh bro, it's raining. And then walks outside and goes, what? I'm getting wet. What is this all about? That is the person who looks around him, sees science, sees human Humans that are amazing and humans that are not worth being human. And he goes, nah, this has nothing to do with a God. We control this. Then God represents us on 3 levels. He says to us, الَّذِينَ يَسْتَحِبُّونَ الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا عَلَى الْآخِرَةِ. So the category 1 were people who said, you know what, there just isn't a God. There is no reason to communicate with this God if there is one. That group gets set off to a side. Then Allah lists 3 characteristics that we ask His protection from them gathering inside us. As for those who prefer the expiring life of this world, وَيَصُدُّونَ عَن سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. And as for those who hinder people from becoming religious, here's one thing, friends. Have you ever realized when you try to get more closer to the existence of a God, why does it bother non-religious people so much? Why does it matter? It irks them because the inside of their soul says, nah, I know this is real, but it'll affect my lifestyle. Nah, I know this is real, but if I take God into my life, I can't match it to those girls anymore. And at some point, the person says, the person says, you follow this book? Did you know that this book said you can marry? Well, let me turn it this way. Did you know that this book says you can marry 4? Did you know that this book said you need 2 female witnesses? Did you know that this book said that there is a type of holy war? Did you know that this book said you can't drink alcohol? Man, what you going to do? What you going to do on Saturday night? They look for crookedness in the book. They look to find the smallest things so that you can be confused, but at the end of the day, say God said something that didn't make sense to you. Wouldn't it be fair to just say, you don't get it because God is greater than you? وَيَبْغُونَهَا عِوَجًا أُولَٰئِكَ فِي ضَلَالٍ بَعِيدٍ. You don't understand Arabic. Let's take that as an example. The word أُولَٰئِك, I didn't say أُولَٰئِكَ. What did I do to the sound? I stretched it. Why? أُولَٰئِكَ فِي ضَلَالٍ بَعِيدٍ. You would think that if someone preferred this world over the life of the hereafter, and that means they prefer to meet your friends more than preferring to meet Allah Himself, and they prefer to hinder the path. And if you wear that on your head, no one's going to marry you. And if you cover your face like that, you must know Kung Fu. And at some point, someone is going to say, you know what? It doesn't work like that. Y'all shouldn't do that. You're oppressed. You live in America. Be free. And finally they will say, وَيَبْغُونَهَا عِوَجًا. You do realize, this book calls for you to submit your life. You really can do that? Come on. All of those people who have those characteristics, they are far away from the truth. The last and final ayah, listen to it, absorb it, try your best to let it affect any doubts you have about the existence of a creator. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِنْ رَسُولٍ إِلَّا بِلِسَانِ قَوْمِهِ لِيُبَيِّنَ لَهُمْ. Not only is there a God, but He loves you so passionately. He loves you more than when the sun touches your face and warms you up on a cold day. He loves you so much. He sent people to talk to you. But He didn't send just anyone. He sent Rasul, which are messengers who are the best of characters of all human beings. But He didn't send them as the highest people who speak Shakespearean language. Illa bilisan. He sent them with the lingo of their people. He sent them with the phrases and the flow that we're so interested in when we listen to our rappers and we listen to hip-hop. We're like, oh, the flow is off the chain. When we hear that, we realize the prophets flowed with their people. The prophets jived with their people until a young man was able to come to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he goes, I can't live without the shorties. I can't live without the shorties, Ya Rasulullah. So I will become Muslim, but I'll still be a player. For real, for real. And at some point, Rasulullah did not banish him, did not say this was haram. He spoke and he goes, you know, you went to the honeys? You know those honeys? Those honeys are could be your sister, could be someone else's sister. How would you like if someone macked your mom? He's like, homie, don't play that. And I rolled that with him. He goes, what if someone macked your sister? He pulled out his sword. He's like, what? And at some point, he jived with this young man until he was able to connect with him and speak at his level, لِيُبَيِّنَ لَهُ, so that he could make things clear. So that he could look at the women of his town and say, you are so beautiful, that when you find beauty, you put it, where do you put your jewelry, sisters? Where? You leave it what? In the sink? You leave it on the ground? Where do you put your jewelry, sisters? Safety deposit, but you're mad, like, she's proper. I don't put nothing in a safety deposit box. Where do you all put it? The stuff you wear every day. In a jewelry box. Because you are jewels. And when you're able to understand and recognize how beautiful you truly are, then you don't need to make up anything. You just need to accept. And they jived. They understood the language that was spoken from God so that it would be clear. فَيُضِلُّ اللَّهُ مَن يَشَاءُ وَيَهْدِي مَن يَشَاءُ. So if y'all didn't understand the last 4 ayahs, God guides whom He wills, and God misguides whom He wills. وَهُوَ الْعَزِيزُ الْحَكِيمُ. And He, God, because I don't need to repeat His name over and over again, He's almighty, but He also has complete authority and complete wisdom. And indeed, God has spoken the truth. This is Surah Ibrahim. Nice surah, right? It's like, wow, Quran says all that stuff? For real, for real. My objective for today is to take a few moments. I request you to do something. So I was speaking to a metaphysicist. And we make up words. When we don't feel smart enough, we just make up words. Metaphysicist. Yeah. Nah. So speaking of metaphysicist, and he was talking to me about how the molecules in the body change, right? So when you do different positions, the molecules, the body flow changes, but also the electronic pulse. Y'all seen those magnetic? Yeah, I need y'all to wake up now because the recitation's done. You can stop doing this. For real. Okay, you know those little bracelets people wear with the magnetic things on the side? Y'all see it? You can do this. It's okay? Yeah, you've seen it? So that's what it's supposed to do, is it grounds electronic charges in your body. So it helps to balance the neurons in your body. So I'm speaking to him, and he said, do you know one of the best ways to ground the neurons in your body is if you turn your palms face up and you extend them away from your body. This, metaphysically speaking, grounds the neurons in your body, and the electrical charges in your body begin to balance. If I may request you to ground those those electronic charges, but don't put your hands together. I want you one thing. Y'all been to New York, right? I can't do this example anywhere else. When you come out of Penn Station and the people asking for money, you ever see that guy stand there? Yo, let me get some money. The back of your head is bro, they killed others. Right? That guy. Do you give him any money? Oh no, you don't give him any money. But if you go to 28th and Broadway, close to Baruch, any Baruch people? Yeah, look at that. No. If you go to 28th and Broadway, there's a guy who stands with a sign, and he says, I need help. And he stands like this. I can't pass him without giving something. Why? It's the way he asks. So whether you accept a creator or not, take one narration from me. It's a narration of a man who has never told a lie in his life. Historically speaking, his name was Muhammad Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. The Prophet Alayhi Salatu Wasalam is narrated to have said, when a believer raises his hands, and this is not Muslim or non-Muslim, this is a believer in the existence of God. So if you believe in Allah and you claim to be Muslim, can you imagine where your rank is? The Creator of the heavens and the earth sent a man to us, and he told us, when the believer raises his hands in front of his Lord, Allahu yastahi. Allah feels shy. Sisters, leave it for a second. Brothers, I need you to repeat the words I just said. Can you say, Allah feels shy? Allah feels shy. Now fam, I need you to say it like a man. Exactly. I want you to, sincerely, I want you to say it as a man. Don't say it like you're in a comatose state, like, okay, what's his point? I'm not trying to sell you anything. Say it like a man. Allah feels shy.
Allah feels shy.
When a believer raises his hands and he puts his hands down and he has not received what he has asked for. Ask from Allah. Allahumma inni as'aluka hubbak wa hubba man yuhibbuk wa hubba amalin yuqarribuni ila hubbik. O Creator, O Allah, O God, we ask for your love. وَحُبَّ مَنْ يُحِبُّكَ, and the love of those who already love you and have accepted you into their lives. وَحُبَّ عَمَلٍ يُقَرِّبُنِي إِلَىٰ حُبِّكَ, and O Creator, who created me, O ultimate motivator, motivate me towards actions that will lead me to your ultimate love. I ask you now, eyes open or closed, talk to that Creator. Use your lips. Tell him you're sorry for what you did and ask for something. For he will be shy unless he gives it to you. اللهم اهدنا الصراط المستقيم اللهم اهدنا الصراط المستقيم اللهم اهدنا الصراط المستقيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله النبي الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه الطيبين الطاهرين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. I flew from California for this salam. I'm going to take it if I have to pull it out of your mouth. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Brothers and sisters, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala, with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy, our topic, and I really want to be able to explore the topic. I prepared to talk considering most people would not be Muslim in this room, or most people would not necessarily be, some child just cried. Unless you're giving them out to the kids, then I get one too, right? Our goal and our objective is to Quran, the book of guidance. Let's face it, I know half of you by name. I know the rest half of you, not necessarily by name, but we've been seeing each other. So let's try today to open this topic a little bit deeper than Quran's a really good book. Because I've been selling that for 9 years and I've been doing pretty well. So what I would like you to do today is if you could take out your phone, if you could take out something to jot down, if you could take out notes, then we could do a lot more. I always like to get the flyer to the event, and the flyer said a guidance to mankind. So let's start with 3 basic points and let's see if we can open up the discussion from here. New York. I just came from Boston, the only place where people's hearts are colder than y'all. Okay, I lived here for 25 years and I was a cold-hearted man too. Then I moved to Texas and then I moved to California. So what I need from you, brothers, I promise you, I am not trying to gain anything from you. I want you to interact in the talk. So if you know something, call it out. I want you to get a little rowdy, get a little howdy-doody with us. So if you know some ayah, if you know some part of the talk, say, yeah, that's surah number this. And sisters, I need you, when I call out a surah, I'm going to ask you to look up the ayah number for me. Because at the end of the day, what's the point of me preparing a talk and giving it to you? You're like, yeah, that guy, he knows about Quran. I'm sure I know about Quran. That's why I'm here. I need you to jot a few things down. Become intimately connected to Quran. I need that. So please feel free. Right? When you all don't agree with someone in New York, what y'all do? Y'all yell and scream. Right? Y'all go, no. So, if you agree, if you understand something, I want you to say, Subhanallah. I want you to say, y'all, no one's been to church. That's the problem. Y'all been to church in the South? No one's been to. When something goes right in church, what happens? Hallelujah. Because what are they talking? They're talking about Jesus. And you can feel Jesus. Which is true. Alayhi salatu wassalam. You can feel the presence of character. You can feel someone explaining someone's character and then it makes an effect on you. But what we do in the Northeast, and I was in Connecticut, Boston, and today I'm in New York, and in the last, I would say 4 to 5 days, let's say 5 days, no one talks. Y'all just stare at me like, does it make sense? Yeah, it does. So what I need you to do is try your best to involve. I will only spend as much time on one of these points as makes sense to you. When you start to nod and you say, yes, this makes sense to me, then we'll move on because Quran is unbelievable. Brother Numan comes and does some amazing, he did divine speech here. Where was divine speech originally shot? Divine speech, huh? I think it was some other, okay, well, I didn't hear it. It was NYU? Where they did the cool rolling camera thing and all that business? Okay, so Quran we have undoubtedly, it's 2013, so I'm not going to go back and prove to you how grammatically perfect it is. But if you don't know, please feel free to look up, type in divine speech, the first thing you're writing down, divine speech into YouTube, and try your best to experience this. So first thing we're going to do, let's try to explore, why do human beings need guidance anyway? Right? If it's a book for guidance, why do human beings need guidance in the first place? Let's start there. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens up the topic. So if you're writing something down, is why do we need guidance? Why can't we come up with things on our own? In Salah, I made a fact to read it slowly as possible. When we say, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. Help me translate this. إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ, what does it mean? You alone we worship. So you translated it perfectly. You said you alone first. Because it's not worship of Allah, but the oneness of Allah. The oneness of a creator that's most important for a human being to accept. وَإِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ sisters, وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. Open your mouth again. Say نَسْتَعِينُ. Smile. Say عِينُ. What is isti'ana? What does it mean, sisters? Asking for help, seeking help. So here's my question. I say, as a book of guidance, I say, you alone do I worship. That's fair. I just worship only Allah. But you alone I ask for help. I called Dr. Ali for directions to get here. I asked someone for a piece of gum. I asked help from someone other than God. So what does this mean? Here is where we will define and prove that human beings do need guidance. We're going to pick 3 things that human beings in history, leave religion and God away for a second. In history, no human nation has ever been able to answer. So you're going to try this with me. There are 3 things that human beings have never been able to get to a level of equilibrium. 3 things. Let's start with 1. What's the first thing we have never been able to figure out in society? Try it. Just call it up and we'll work from there. Yes?
Prevent death.
Pardon?
Prevent death.
Prevent death. Yeah, that works too. We've never been able to prevent death. So that's related to me before or after my existence. But this is fair. I want something during my existence. What? Okay, so I need Quran and then God is going to help me before and after my death. Now, right now, I'm going to live today. You go ahead. Peace. Perfect. So let's take peace another step forward and say, when does peace happen? Peace happens when there's a government in place that fulfills everyone's rights, right? So here's my question. What governmental system works for the whole universe? Is it capitalism? Is it Marxism? Is it communism? Is it a kingship? Don't tell me Islam, because Islam is an answer. Tell me, has there been anything yet? No. Number 1, mankind cannot figure out how to rule each other. We need God's guidance. Number 2, you started out, that's actually number 3. It's the last one. You did fantastic. So let's go. I was going to start at the smallest and then go out and out. So we're starting with the biggest of the umbrellas. And that is, we don't have a governmental system, fam. We need to accept it. And I will throw, in Saudi Arabia, I will say our government as well. It doesn't always work. Something gets forward and backwards and someone's rights get infringed upon. Not on a religious basis. Health, economic, social security. That's number 1. Go in one section closer. What else have we never been able to guide ourselves on? Bring it closer to home, friends. It has to do with numbers. It's accounting school, isn't it? Money. What economic system? Watch this. Dr. Ali has $1 million. I have a lot of labor. بإذن الله. اللهم إني أسألك علما نافعا وعملا متقبلا ورزقا طيبا. The only one who said Ameen. The rest of y'all right. But come on, man. Ameen. I told you all need to be connected. God, we don't discuss whether He's here. We discuss the fact that anyone have a difference of opinion whether Allah can see us right now. No one does. So why not say Ameen? Why not give the angels something to do? I bet you half of our books are filled with OMG. Oh my God. The angels said, I ain't writing that down. I am not writing that down. Bump that. No. Give them something to write. And as we say in California, right? Smile, Allah's watching. So I ask you to do something. When he has $1 million and I have 100 people of labor, he invests $1 million with me. Does he get the profit or do I do? Because I'm labor. Wait. Okay, now I'm labor and you have the capital. So I get all the profit? No. So how does economics break down? Number two, no society has ever been able to figure it out. You can talk about it on an economic level, supply and demand. You could read a book, you could get a degree in it. Forgot. Any economic majors? Is there a sole set system that we have? Is there a set system? No, there isn't a set system. That's how everything works. But let's go one more step. So governmental system, there isn't a set system. Oh no, I've read economic theories for a while when we were studying the interest law. Why is interest that bad? Like, what's the big deal? We sat and threw religion out the window and looked at it solely from an economic point of view. It destroys a society. It literally cripples a society, and I use a word, it retards the growth of a society. Let's not touch it. Number three, y'all are so religious, no one is touching this one. Okay, we don't have a governmental system. We need guidance. We do not have the correct economic system. So we made a differentiation between global peace and financial peace. What about
racism?
Racism, take it a step further. Racism is when I differentiate on your creed. What about sexism? No one thinking about that? This is a painful thing. I do not expect a laugh. It will hurt me if you do. As of this moment right now in 2013, there are 250 million women missing. Look it up, research it. There are apartment buildings that are over 30 stories high that have 1,000 rooms in them. The entire purpose of the building, each room in the building is split in half. Each room in the building has a bed, a computer, and a webcam. 250 million women are unaccounted for. Were born and do not exist on paper. That's disturbing. Where are their rights? Where are their rights? The third thing that we as human beings need rights, you are correct, prejudice, but we take prejudice down to the core. I could attack someone because they were black, and a black person could attack someone because he was this and that. That's fine, that's human nature. We're going to do these crazy things. But something that can be controlled in the nature of man is the ability to respect. So let's play this game. Isn't everything working fine now? It's a man-driven society. Y'all are like climbing at things since the 1950s for feminism. Yeehaw, whoop-de-doo. Which, by the way, feminism is the greatest thing that any man has ever experienced in his life, right? Because according to feminism, you're large and in charge and can do whatever you want, right? Men, you don't care at all, right? As long as they keep taking it off in the name of freedom, works for me. That's what I want you to understand. Under a banner of feminism, if you got it, you should flaunt it. We're just sitting in the back and yeah, word. That works, yeah, you got it, honey, you got it, flaunt it, just keep taking it off. And that ultimately is what feminism is turning into now. Not the original getting rights for women, giving the ability to vote, but I think God had talked about that they get rights of inheritance, they could divorce, they have the right to be judges and doctors. But when did feminism become, well, if I have it, I can show it. The third and most important point, in my opinion, is human beings need guidance when it comes to interaction between the genders. So we have a male-driven society. In Vegas, you can pay $10,000 to go Bambi hunting. Anyone know what Bambi hunting is? Now you got mad religious. Hang on. Let me dial this back a little bit. Alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah. According to the narration of certain people who live in Las Vegas, you can pay $10,000 and hunt women with paintball guns. Yes. Yes? I lived there for a long time. And they were like, yeah, what? You can hunt women with paintball guns. It's called Bambi hunting. You pay $10,000. So my point, a male-driven society doesn't work. Female-driven society. We're trying to make it work. It hasn't been working. So who has more rights? Are we equal? No, I don't think so. I'm starting a new organization. It's called Men for Uteruses. I want to have a child. I want to bear children. Right. So my point to you is, no, we're not creating equal. Who's going to define how we were created? Man needs guidance. We finished the topic. Are you with me? Men do not know how to run a government. Human beings, mankind does not know how to run a government. And if a woman is screaming, but you all never gave us the chance. But no, time has never given you the chance. Not men. Society, for the last 10,000 years of history that we have documented, has not given you a chance. So what we say is, where does a government live? How does the economy run? And what is the relationship between men and women? When you now, at Salat al-Isha, say, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ, I want you to pause and say, Allah, I don't know what governmental system I should run under. Allah, I don't know what the correct economics are. Allah, I do not know what the rights of my mother are truly. Then what's the word after ihdina sirat? After isti'ana. What comes after isti'ana? إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. Oh Allah, guide me to the straight and consistent path that will help me understand what it is that these three missing points. Are you with me that man needs guidance? Do you agree?
Yes.
If I may, I'm not very interested in the recording. Does anyone disagree? It's a symposium, it's a place to open up. I gave a talk at Rutgers University and someone was screaming and yelling at the back of the... Anyone came to the Rutgers talk? That was pretty amazing. Someone got up in the middle of the talk, I am bisexual, da 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 da, and I was like, whoa. Yeah, it happens. Grow up, it'll be okay. I promise. You know what I mean? Like, some brothers are like, that's not for it. He said the bad word. My point is, we gotta grow. Now let's take it a step further. After you say, اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم. Allah, I don't want just half of a plan. I want the complete plan. The plan that those people who before me followed it, they were your chosen people. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. And we do accept that Muslims with Quran in their hand could manipulate the word of God and earn His anger or go far astray. That is what guidance is. Now I ask you, after غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ, what is next? Actually, everyone says that. Ameen is not written in the Quran, by the way. There we go. Say it again. Preach it, sister. Feminism, whole talk here going on. After وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ, hang on, brothers, after وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ, what comes up? Alif Lam Mim. Alif Lam Mim. What does it mean, elders? What does it mean? No one knows, right? Do I know? Who's the only one who knows? So if I want guidance, what do I need to do? Sit down and accept only Allah knows. Why? ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. Because that book that God is sending with guidance, there's no doubt in it. I think I have proved point number one. Are there any questions? Quran, now let's talk about it. Quran is a book that was brought by whom? And I want to go Columbia University on this, because there's a claim right now that the Quran was modified and written over 300 years by the companions. Yeah, right? That's exactly what I did. I was like, really, bro? You figured it out in the last 1400 years of scholarship. Muslim and non-Muslim didn't figure it out. There's a new claim. The Quran was written by a Sahaba over 300 years. And I was like, man, I don't got a shovel big enough for this, but I'll play your game. I'll play your game. So let's assume Quran was manufactured by someone other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let's entertain it for a second, because the book of guidance. After I prove these points to you, if the Quran says jump up and down and do hold your nose, I'm going to do it because it's from Allah. It doesn't matter after that. So let's look at it on three levels. Number one, in order for me to write a brand new manuscript, I have to have some knowledge of the language. So say we took the best Sahaba who knew grammar, who knew poetry, and they were able to produce a Quran. That would only accompany the ayahs that make up 1/3 of Quran. That's the living Arab text. So I want you to write the second thing down. So now we've proven man needs guidance whether we like it or not. Next level. How do we know Quran is the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Let's just go level number one. There are 26 words in the Quran. And this is amazing that I don't need to quote a whole ayah. 26 words in the Quran that don't exist in the Arabic language. 26 words in the Quran that don't exist in the Arabic language. I will bite off from... anyone can name some of these words? Yes?
At-tanur.
At-tanur. Beautiful. But I don't think anyone would know that. Go a little bit closer to home. It's like the Arabic student says, at-tanur. Go a little bit closer to home. How about one that they would know? Okay, he was the bad guy in Musa alayhi salam's story. What was his name? Fir'aun. Fir'aun, it is not necessarily an Arabic word. So from the word Fir'aun, so Musa alayhi salam comes into the courtroom. He tells Fir'aun, oh Fir'aun, I am the messenger of Allah, you should worship Allah, one creator. Fir'aun, in a very sarcastic manner, turns over to his right side, and who does he talk to? Okay, what was his name? Haman. Haman is not an Arabic word. It's a word from, and you all know this, you can watch this on YouTube. Haman, if you want to write it down. That sounds like the people who modify BMWs, right? Haman. No one got that. What am I going to do with you guys? Haman is a name that did not exist. It was only in the language of Egyptology, the hieroglyphics. You all know this, right? Yes. The language of Egyptology died 2,000 years before the birth of Muhammad Rasulullah. So Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam didn't just pull a name out of the air and say, yeah, there was a guy next to Fir'aun. When the story is being narrated, Fir'aun turns over to a specific person. I can point at you. Fir'aun turns over to a specific, I'm going to make you the worst human being during the time of Fir'aun's time. And he goes, Ya Haman, O Haman, erect a building for me so that I could climb up. He's shooting the breeze here. He's like, build me a big building so I can talk to Moses' God. For real. Right? He was mocking Musa alayhi salam. My question to you, where did they get this name with a language that didn't exist? It died 2,000 years before the birth of Muhammad Rasulullah. But oh yeah, he didn't write Quran, the Sahaba did. But the Sahaba couldn't read or write Egyptology, no one could at the time. Okay, fluke. It came out of the sky, somehow. Somebody, I don't know, because now you have to cut out angels, you have to do a lot. In order to make this academic Orientalist attack work, you literally have to cut history. Those things don't exist. Let's take it a step further. What about the embryology in the Quran? Young men, can you, just for a second, I want you to understand. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah A'raf, ayah number 11, وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَاكُمْ ثُمَّ صَوَّرْنَاكُمْ. Definitely, certainly, I created you. And that we all agree on, the creation of a human being, right? But then Allah uses the word صَوَّرْنَا, to fashion. Now, if you could go home and do this, just type it in. So they have a 3D image of how the human face forms. How many parts of the human face, when it's a baby in the mother's womb, there are 6 parts to your face. 1, 2, you have your supraorbital and a whole bunch of other things. These 6 pieces in your face all come and pinch together, and they meet right here on the human face. Anyone can tell me what this is called? Oh, good. But tell me, you were telling me about the bone structure. Tell me about the skin. It's called a maxilla, but this part is called fulcrum. Okay. The way you said that, I know I'm going to get yelled at, so I'll say yes. For real. Chinchilla. All that word. I ain't gonna mess with the sister. It's actually a queen sister. I ain't gonna mess with y'all. This part of the human face is literally where, I'm trying to bring up a point here. If this single pinch doesn't happen on your fashioned face that Allah talked about in the Quran, it's called a cleft palate. And then you have this big gash on the side and it's corrected by surgery. But Muhammad Rasulullah and the Sahaba wrote Quran, let's take it a bit further. And this is the magic trick, if you will. Anyone can help me out here. There are 4 words to say come here in Arabic. Come here. Okay, can you help? Yes? Give me the ta'al means it's a command. I'm talking about the verb he came. What's ja'a? Okay, that's one. What's the second one? Maryam came with the baby. What was she doing? Faja'a, that was coming. There's another one. There's another word. It starts with an alif. I need to know what your common knowledge is before I... Ata. Well done. I can't see you don't have glasses, but well done. Allahumma tafaqihha fi din. Allah give her better understanding of the religion. Thank you, sister. Ameen. Wow, someone said Ameen. I made dua for the brother. Nobody said Ameen. You're like, he's a doctor already. Make Ameen, Brent. Sister says, Inshallah. Come on. Allahumma inni as'aluka al-jannah. Oh Allah, give all of us Jannah. Wa ma qarraba ilayha min qawli wa amal. And Allah give us the actions and the speech that will take us to Jannah. Ata, ja'a. One more. Am kuntum shuhada'a idh hadara. Hadara means to come. There's a 4th one, I'll leave it out for later. So watch this. Ata means to come, but that person has not arrived. They are at a distance. And they haven't come here yet. Ja'a means he came and he's here. Hadara means he came, he's here, and he spent a little bit of time. Now, look how Allah... Oh, wait. Look how the Sahaba who wrote the Quran
were able to use the exact word. So when Maryam was coming out of the desert, Salamun alayha, did Allah say Ja'a? No, she said Ja'a when she got to everyone, and they said, where'd you get a baby from, girl? And she was like, what word did Allah use when she was coming from a distance? Ata. He said, when did the people of Maryam's town start to gossip? Oh my God, you see what Mary had? She has a baby. And the word usage is she came from a distance. She was walking. And remember, as she was walking, what does Allah tell us in the story? She was wishing death. She's like, I can't take this. I'm going to be the front cover of the People Us magazine for the next 5 weeks. Mary had a baby. So Allah uses the word ata. Then when Musa alayhi salam, there are 4 examples. When Ibrahim alayhi salam comes up to talk to his dad, what word is used? Ja'a, he came. But when Ya'qub is passing away, he's on his deathbed, his sons are around him, everyone came. When you come up to your parents' deathbed, you come up like, what do you want, Dad? Is that what you do? What do you do when you get up to the bed of your dad when he's dying? Sit and shut up and absorb the moment. There Allah says, أَمْ كُنْتُمْ شُهَدَاءَ إِذْ حَضَرَ يَعْقُوبَ الْمَوْتِ. They came, they sat, they held the cloth of their dad's bed. And when they had arrived and given the right respect, Allah said, they came. At this point, we realize this book has not been changed. By the way, there's a 4th word, but I'm going to let you look it up. This is one word in the Quran. When we need to push the envelope a little bit further. Now I'm going to ask you one thing. If all of these things are true, did you all understand that? There are 4 words to say he came, or he arrived, or he was coming from a distance. All 4 of those words are used perfectly in the Quran to deal with the situation. Let's maybe push the envelope a little bit more, because we're New Yorkers. We like flow, right? We like Nas and Jay-Z. For real, let's just open up for a second. I don't know, uncles are like, Nas? Isn't that something you put in your nose when you get a cold, right? Nas. So these are our poets of our society, if you will. And when they rhyme words, right? They rhyme words. I've done this example before, but I'll do it one time quickly for you. So one of the greatest of your poets said, I don't rap for dead presidents. I know it's never been said, I'd rather see the president dead. I set precedents. We went crazy! Oh my God, he rhymed the first word with the second word, and oh my God, this is so crazy! Then I ask you, we're going to do this exercise here. If you don't know it, take out your phone right now, open to Surah 100. And no one's going to be there with us. We live in New York, you don't tell us what to do. If you have your phone, take out Surah 100. Can you do it for me, please? Take out Surah 100. You got Surah 100? What's Surah 100 called? Now this is called rhyme pattern. Now this is the existence, the book that is undoubtedly the gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we know it even if you don't understand Arabic. Okay, so in poetry, in rap form today too, I don't rap for dead presidents. I know it's never been said, I'd rather see the president dead. I set precedents. I know that's a little bit offensive, but he's okay. What he did was, he took the first word and he rhymed it in the first and second word, and then he rhymed it in the second and the third and fourth word. It was amazing. Precedent, precedent. It's amazing. Now watch this. Sister, do you have the surah out in front of you? If you can't read Arabic, it's called L2RQ.com. You can learn your letters probably in 25 minutes. L2RQ, learn2readquran.com. Now, brothers, could you read the first word to me in the surah? Let's do it together. Everyone say, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good. Take it to Tajweed class. We'll get to that in a second. It's not Bismillahirrahman, but we'll work on it. Brothers, can you read the first word to me? It's wal adiyati. Slowly though, because you want to feel the rhyme pattern. Wal adiyati. Sister, second word? Asking for donation. Oh my God. It's haram. Sister, second word in the first verse. Wadaha. Beautiful. Brothers, one more time. Can I get some feeling here? I did recitation for you for 20 minutes. Can you give me something to go off? Nice and loud. First word. Second word, second verse. Third verse. 5 verses consecutively. Watch. The first word rhymes with the first word of the next ayah. The first word of the third ayah rhymes with the first and the second. The first word of the fourth ayah rhymes with 1, 2, 3, 4. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, the second word of the first verse, وَالْعَادِيَاتِ. What word does that rhyme with? قَدْحًا. And what word does that rhyme with? وَالْعَادِيَاتِ ضَبْحًا فَالْمُورِيَاتِ قَدْحًا. But wait, when Eminem rhymed his words, they didn't mean anything. When Allah talks about وَالْعَادِيَاتِ, He literally describes 5 circles. From the morning a soldier wakes up for the battle, and when he walks out, the camera keeps zooming out. But he did that by rhyming 10 words. It's one thing to say the cat in the fat hat pulled out a gat and said, brat, brat. Dude, this is simple. This is forward rhyme pattern. This is forward rhyme pattern. How can you actually tell a picture, rhyme the first word with the first word of the second verse? Now, وَالْعَادِيَاتِ ضَبْحًا. Adiya and ضَبْحًا, do they rhyme? Not at all. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala breaks the rhyme pattern. Now you tell me, brother, that's great, there's only 11 ayahs in this. So let's conclude this. Man needs guidance. Allah has sent guidance. The Quran has no doubt in it. It's perfect in its Arabic word usage, but I don't speak Arabic, so it's perfect in its rhyme pattern. But in 88 ayahs of Surah Maryam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells the story in greater detail than in the Tawrah and in the Bible. But every ayah, ذِكْرُ رَحْمَةِ رَبِّكَ عَبْدَهُ زَكَرِيَّا إِذْ نَادَى رَبَّهُ نِدَاءً. How is it possible? For 88 ayahs, the rhyme pattern doesn't break. So if I didn't even understand Arabic, it's the words of God. I have gone into crowds of 300 non-Muslims. They're like, can you do that thing? Can you sing? All I do is recite one surah. Wallahi, we've never heard anything like that in our life. We still hate Muslims, by the way. I don't love you. Well, could you do that thing one more time? And that's an onus is on us, man. Onus is on us. We don't smile. We don't take care of people. We don't hold the door. We don't let them say whatever they want about us. Onus is on us, but wait. In the middle of Surah Maryam, who's the superstar? Like the superstar who doesn't talk much in the surah, but he's the superstar of Surah Maryam. So there's something that, what's his name? Not Young Buck, the other guy. Jesus. Wow. They are way too religious. Not 50 Cent. Nah, Jesus, yo! Young Buck. Okay, so Young Buck did something in his rhyme scheme. He was rhyming words, then he changed the entire rhyme scheme, and he changed it into like a stomp. He changed the whole rhyme pattern, and when he changed it, the whole song took a turn, and then he ended it in the original rhyme pattern. It made no sense because it included 4-letter words that, let's face it, you could rhyme anything with the word fire truck. I could. It's very simple. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the middle of Surah Maryam, introduces a character, and the character breaks the rhyme pattern. And he says, the first words that Jesus says is in the surah. Anyone know what it is? قَالَ إِنِّي عَبْدُ اللَّهِ. He breaks the rhyme pattern. So all of a sudden the camera shifts, and you're like, well, who's that guy? And then how does the ayah end? إِنِّي عَبْدُ اللَّهِ And he breaks the rhyme pattern. وَجَعَلَنِي نَبِيًّا. He breaks the rhyme pattern, calls your attention, and says, by the way, I'm Jesus. And then he joins the rhyme pattern. That's not 11 ayahs long. It's 88. We stop here. My time has expired. I say this much to you. If I have proved the Quran to be the book of Allah, why don't we read it? Why don't we touch it? Why don't we kiss it? Why don't we run our fingers along it? Why not, when we don't feel beautiful, why don't we touch something that's immaculate? It would have been nice if I did the magic show and said, that's it, well done. Why Muslims? Why don't we read the book of Allah? I share a narration with you. Last thing you will write tonight. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is narrated to have said in the books of hadith. Write it down. This hadith has some weakness in it. Let's grow up. A weak hadith doesn't mean you throw it out the window. I'd rather throw myself out a window. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is narrated to have said 1,000 years before the creation of man, Allah recited Surah Taha. I ask you a question. Who recited Surah Taha? Allah. Imagine the opportunity tonight when you open the Quran and you say, I'm about to say the words God Himself said. That is divinity, perfection. And for a moment in a day, Allah allows you to be divine. God loves you so much that He leaves us to sin and not to pray and to flaunt ourselves and to post horrid things on Facebook and to be us. But at any moment in the day, I could open a Quran and say the words God Himself said, I haven't sold you yet. So you were saying, oh, weak hadith, we're leaving it. So let me give you something a little bit better than a weak hadith. In Surah Qasas, sisters, surah number. Bang! Wow! Same girl? Thank God. Brothers, it's a good book. If I ask who won Miami or Bulls, brother! Islam! What? Sitting there, Allahumma taqabbal minna, Kobe Bryant, Akil Ditan. ACL, Derrick Rose. I'm sorry, Derrick Rose. Come on, guys. Surah Qasas, what number is it? Girls just said it, but Can you say it again, please? Sister, can you say it again, please? In Surah 28, Musa a.s. removes his shoes, walks around a mountain, Mount Tur. He gets into the mountain, removes it. He sees a burning bush. I'm reading this. I'm involved right now. Wow, this is amazing. I was sitting on a plane. I'm reading Surah Qasas. Musa comes around, he sees the bush, he kind of turns away. There's all of this imagery going on and on. He looks at the burning bush. The burning bush says, Inni ana Allah. Indeed, I, in the singular, am Allah. When I read those words, who said them before me? Not Muhammad Rasulullah. God did. Us creatures made of wet, dirty fluid that we don't talk about, we're allowed to say the words God did. When the song plays on the radio, and we can lip sync to it, and we gotta flow, we gotta jive, how can we not say the words that God Himself said? I encourage you, it's not a book of guidance, it's a love letter. Allah wrote a 632-page love letter. We just stopped reading it. And in the love letter, He told us there are going to be some tough times coming, my love. Tough times are going to come. Sometimes you're not going to feel good. Sometimes people are going to fight. Sometimes you'll fall in love and you'll have to get divorced. But I'm going to be there. I'll be there every step of the way. Sometimes your child might die. Sometimes you'll have difficulties in finance, but I'll be there for you because I love you. How can I prove that? Inna Allah yuhibbul muhsinin. Allah said, my love, I love you. Just do good things, I'll love you more. I close with a simple narration. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the most beautiful man on earth, of whom Anas radiallahu ta'ala an said, Anas lived till the age of, how would we know? 103. 106? 103. It could be a height. I'll give him 3 years. He lived to the age of 103. He said, and by 103, musks had come from Iraq and from Persia, silks, the singing women of there was a Broadway show in Persia. The best singing girls were out there. I mean, really, that's what their job was. He said, I have smelt the greatest musks from around the world. This was the statement at the end of his life. I smelt the greatest musks from around the world. I have never smelt anything like the sweat of Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now when I tell you Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, those who learn to read the Quran will be with the prophets on the day of judgment like this. There are very few hadith that there's a hand gesture, because he knew that most things would be scribed down. There's something that you'll be close to the prophet. Who cares about being close to the prophet? Oh man, come here. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam gave us this narration. On the day of judgment, the people who read Quran will be like this with the Anbiya. If you need anything in life, depression, anxiety, you feel difficulty, you're addicted to hookah or marijuana, if you have a drug problem, please don't laugh. I live in California, it's real. So when you laugh, you're laughing at sisters who come to the masjid high. Don't. And when you all are laughing because you're like, what? Where are you? Don't laugh. Pray. Don't judge. I ask you this much. Every difficulty that Allah gave us, He gave us a book with 611 pages of love. You might not like everything in the love letter. How many times you read love letters? I love everything in this. Right, guys? You read letters where and she's like, we'll be together forever. I love you, baby. Let's get up to here forever. Brother got needs. I asked you to do this much. Some guy. The first time you made a gesture, tell me, brother. Be with the prophets. Turn to the book of Allah. If I may end with something real, because this is all just magic shows. I dislike this. L2RQ.com. Learn to read Quran.com. Learn to read Quran. L2RQ.com. Simple site. It's free. It teaches you the letters. If you know the letters, it teaches some 4. Abadan, Halaqa. If you don't know how to pronounce it, if you know how to pronounce it, click the word tajweed, follow up, it'll take you through a whole surah. If you don't know, if you know tajweed and you have ijazah, then click on advanced reading, learn a few tips, teach someone else around you. L2RQ. L2RQ. And if nothing else, tonight I want you to do this. Remember this? Make Allah shy. Make Allah shy. Ask from Him. Ask what you need. And then tell Him, Allah, I love you. And I want to die in your love. I want to die with the love that you have allowed me to experience. Quran is perfect. I bet you next year, Islam Awareness Week, Quran, book of guidance. Great. You can't be guided unless you turn the GPS on. If you don't turn it on and sit in your car, yo bro, I have this $13,000 GPS in my car. Do you use it? Nah. It's written on the wall. One question, brothers. When you take a GPS, even when you're walking, and you take a wrong turn on your GPS, what does it do automatically? It reroutes you automatically, right? And even if you keep going in the wrong direction, what does it do eventually? It reroutes it from another place. Make mistakes in life. Just keep telling Him, Allah, keep guiding me. That's what Ihdina Siratal Mustaqim is. All that's clean and pure is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Mistakes, misrepresentations, immaturities are my own. If I have offended you, please come. I will do what I can to rectify that. And if you do not forgive me, then I only ask forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Could you please repeat after me? Allahumma. Allahumma. Oh Allah. Oh Allah. Anta Rabbi. Anta Rabbi. You are my Lord. You are my Lord. Khalaqtani. Khalaqtani. Afwan. La ilaha illa ant. There is no one worthy of love except you. There is no one worthy of love except you. Khalaqtani. I am your slave. I am your slave. Wa ana abduk. You created me. You created me. And I am your slave. And I am your slave. Wa ana. Lift up your arm like you're lifting up your throat. Ala. Ahdika. It's a ha, it comes from your stereo. You know, like you're giving up, like something, you sister. Maybe you do that once in your life. Ahdika. Beautiful brothers. Ahdika. Wa wa'adika. Mastata'at. What's the rush? Mastata'at. And and every promise that I make to you, I will do my best to fulfill. 10 seconds, ask Allah for whatever you need. Please repeat after me. It's like filling air in a pump. Allahumma. Like a pump. Salli. Press your tongue harder. Salli. Now let the air out like out of the tire, but out of a tire. Wasallim. Beautiful, brothers. Wasallim. Lift up the ayn from the second part of your throat. Lift it up. Say Ala. I want you to suck on it like a gobstopper. Nabiyyina. I'm serious. Ya with a W on top of it has shidda. Nabiyyina. I have a minute. Hold your hands up, brothers. Can you know, like when you're chanting for a sport? Can you say yid? This is weak York. You do that one more time. This is old York. Let's try it one more time. Yid. Now, Nabiyyina. You hear it? Perfect. Ala Nabiyyina. Wa Habibina. Pucker your lips like you're going to kiss something. Muhammad. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Jazakallahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Takbir. 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 Okay, I got nothing else. So, just send up your questions inshallah. There's volunteers going around with pens and index cards, so Brother Islam will take your questions down. You can just bring the questions, put them on the table so that he can have a chance to look over them. With that being said, in that meantime, I'm going to make a few announcements. One announcement is that Hunter MSA is going to have an event on Friday, April 26th at 6 p.m. They'll have Sheikh Khalid Yasin as a speaker. They'll have a comedian, Dean Obaidullah. They'll have a spoken word by Cyrus McGoldrick. And again, it's going to be on April 26th at 6 p.m. And we just had this whole talk about understanding the Quran, learning the Quran. So to give you the opportunity to learn Arabic, to understand it in the original language that it was revealed in, Foundation of Knowledge and Development. Guys, Foundation of Knowledge and Development is going to have 2 programs this summer. One of them is beginner's Arabic. This is a step for you to gain an understanding of the Quran itself. Beginner's Arabic is going to be in the Foundation of Knowledge and Development. If you want to know the address, it's 90-20 191 Street in Hollis, New York. The phone number is, you can jot it down, 718-721-3523. And it's going to start on April 28th, Sunday. It's going to start at 10 a.m. and the first class is free for everyone. Everyone can attend. You can come see how the class is. The second class is going to be Clean Deen. Right? It's going to be fiqh of purification taught by Shakil Humayu, and the Arabic class is going to be taught by Ustad Azam Riaz. Another announcement that we have is that we have an event coming up by the MSA, 2 events coming up. One is a sisters only event, the other is a brothers only event. So we want to encourage sisterhood and brotherhood in the MSA. So the sisters only event is going to be Tuesday, April 30th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. We'll have speakers, interactive things, sisters can come, enjoy themselves, have fun. The brothers event will be on May 2nd from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's on a Thursday. It's going to be at the corner market here in Queens College. We paid for book it. It's going to be pool tables, video games, air hockey, whatever you want. I mean, we can have whatever. We're gonna go out to eat afterwards, so inshallah, sisters will provide food for you to eat. Brothers, we really don't care about you, so you're gonna have to buy your own food. And as far as the announcements go, that's it. Please send in your questions, and inshallah, we'll take it from there.
Bismillah. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Brother, just because I'm not trying to hate on the game, you know what I mean? So, how can I get the money? Not like this. How much Quran should I be daily? How much Quran should I be daily? There's a difference in the way we can approach this question, but if I may, I would like you to start with 2 ayahs every day. So everyone, no matter what, before you go to sleep, you read 2 ayahs. Why do I say so little? Because you want to beat Shaitan, Iblis, the fire creature, you want to beat his rationale. His rationale is going to be, read 1 juz in a day. And guess what? You ain't going to read for like 4 more months after that. Right? You'll be like, oh, I'm tired. I don't have enough time. Start with 2 ayahs. Every week increase 1, 2 ayahs. We read 1, 2 ayahs. Be consistent in your recitation. For those of you who are hufal or hafidhat, and those of you who are, at least I say like a juz a day. Take about 20 minutes, right? I used to see this a lot back in the day. People used to read Quran in the subway. I don't know, that doesn't happen so much anymore. 1 juz. Now, that's answered. The Shari'i question, the Sharia answer to your is very painful. The Shari'a's answer to how much should the Quran be read. Adults, please help me when the kids ask at home. So Quran has how many surahs in it? Yalla, surah. 114. How many juz? So surahs came first, and then the most recent, I think 150 years ago, we broke the Quran into something called juz, para, right? Or bara, whatever you want. So ajza, when the ulama of the Quran quote me, try to understand what I'm saying. When the scholars of the world unanimously said, okay, we're going to break Quran into 30 pieces so that it's easy to carry around, they wrote, and they were afraid. They said if we break into 30 parts, people will only finish the Quran when? Originally Quran was in how many parts? Before 30? 7 manazil. So how often would the average person finish the Quran? Every week. When we finish the Quran every week, we rule the world for 800 years. Then we started reading the Quran once a month. Ulama wrote at the bottom of this partition in the Quran, and whomsoever does not complete the Quran once a month does not have a relationship with it. You asked it, I had to answer. Start with 2 ayahs. We're going to come back. We're going to come back. We're going to help the world. We're going to come back to where we were. Right now we're not doing so well. I love you for asking this question. It's something I'm studying now, about 6 more months to complete my... There are 17 different exams you take for this. There are 7 qira'at, and actually those 7 are 10. So you guys know about the 7 qira'at. So, okay. When Little Wayne describes this, what is this called? What do you call this? Okay, right, girl? Oh, here. Okay, that works. I said Little Wayne, I made a mistake. When Little Wayne says, what does he say? Her. What? It's called her, right? So this is called the qira'at of English. So I got off a plane, I asked the lady where we were. I was all like busted and sleeping on my face. She's like, we're in Kansas. I was like, what? She goes, Kansas. Qira'at, it's an explanation. Where does Brother Numan and Sheikh Abdul Nasir live? What state do they live in? How does it say it in Texas? Yes. Qira'at. So the Quran was so dynamic that even though there were 7 tribes, there were actually 12 tribes. There were 12 ways to pronounce the Arabic language. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's one speech could be pronounced in all 12 ways. Let me try to relativize that. That is Jay-Z writing a rhyme pattern. That's Jay-Z writing a rap. And then Dirty South, Chameleonaire, someone from Dirty South could read it in their own dialect.
and it would still rhyme. Anyone know rap like that? No. Because as soon as you take the certain rhyme pattern from the Northeast, Dirty South, you took West Coast, that's right, West Coast, just want to make sure we establish that. That's right. Okay, yeah, that was like Spock's West Coast. The rhyme pattern breaks, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's one word could be pronounced in all 7 ways, and that was one of the amazing parts of the Quran. Right now, I guess we don't have the time to go into it. What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speak in the third person? Oh, this is such a perfect one. Why does it? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran refers to himself as He, I, and we. Okay, just jot that down. I'm going to try to come back to this. Okay, there are 2 fit questions. I won't be able to touch them. I'm sorry. Working in a bank, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ease. I can only say this much. No, this will be taken the wrong way. Whatever you're forced to do right now, keep having karahat in your heart. There was a woman whose job was to sell herself. And she would come home every night and make tawbah and cry to Allah. Prophet ﷺ said she's going to Jannah. So whether something's halal or not halal and it works into your schedule or not, if there is a shred of discomfort in it, at least have karahat, disgust in your heart. Just a thought. That's like asking me to guys to go to the movie theater. No, think about it. No, I didn't mean that as a joke. If it was, and I said it's okay for you to spend 2 hours in a dark room mixed with men and males and females, and most movies we watch today are going to have something awkward on the screen. That means you're in a room with a woman, with an undressed woman on the screen. If I told you that was jaiz, you'd go into it. I guess. I don't know. You do it, sisters. Okay, brother, if you come help me sort out the question. How strongly should a Muslim believe in dreams related to Islam, dreams, or Prophet? Okay, it's a really good point. The best thing to do right now is do not act on your dreams. It's not a healthy medium. The dreams of the pious. I mean, I'm talking about people who finish Quran every week. The people who, you know when you wake up in the morning and the song that you listened to last night, like diamonds, diamonds, diamonds in the sky. God, for God's sake, she says the same exact word. Oh my God, lyrical amazement. No, it's very simple. When that's playing in your head, I don't know how pious it could be. So don't go on your dreams. Truly, good dreams are from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, negative dreams are from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I just read this today in some psychology book. If you sleep in cold rooms, you'll have negative dreams. If you eat very late, you'll have negative dreams. So we don't take care of all of these things. Try not to use your dreams as a measurement for anything. Even ulama, scholars, our teachers they'd be like, I had a dream. And then 5 weeks later, they would be like, I prayed for 5 weeks and now I'm going to share my dream with you. So my recommendation, don't go on dreams so much. I miss reading Quran. Okay, so if you're not able to read Quran, sisters, at a specific time, then remember this. Do you want to do good deeds or deeds that Allah is pleased with? So when you don't read Quran, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told you not to, you get blessed. I mean, just hang on for a second. Wish the whole time. Right? Yeah, get vacation. Vacation! That's all you need to do. Remember Allah. A great thing was taught to me by one of the elder teachers, and a lot of my teachers, like my first 4 teachers were all females. They used to recommend, even though it's not in the sunnah writing, at that time sit down for the prayers. Just sit down so that in your schedule you're used to stopping 5 times a day. Does that make sense? Okay. Awkward. Okay, 7 qira'at are done. Permissible to read Quran. For those who are looking to learn the Quran along with the millions of other things, could you discuss a few? Okay, if you really want to do this is only for people who want to go to heaven. AQL Online. AQL, Advocating Quranic Literacy Online, has a course. It's an online course. It's a video screen capture of me teaching. It's 7 days, 1.5 hours a day. It's 1.5 hours a day, but if you buy it, you can watch it as slow as you want. We took 3,000 people who had never, Allah astaghfirullah. We were blessed to instruct 3,000 people who have never seen the Arabic alphabet in their life. In 7 days they were reading out an Arabic Mus'haf. AQ, I don't know how that's a Q, AQLonline.com. There's a scroller. You'll see me and it says read. I have this really funky haircut, I'm really sick. That's the one.
So if you are interested in learning to read Quran seriously, and you're like, oh brother, I don't have an hour and a half a day. Y'all have and 45 minutes a day for P90X and hip hop app. But brother, that's important. If you don't have the time, split it in half. Split it in half. Take 14 days to do it. But there should be no one in North America, and inshallah by this Ramadan we're releasing a new DVD, which you don't even need to speak English. Right? You just watch the DVD, you stick it into the back of your cortex, and Neo goes in there and just reads the Quran. So if anyone is interested to learn to read Quran before the month of Ramadan, clearly and in fluent, you've never seen the Arabic letters in your life, aqlonline.com. Oh, this is such a great question. You guys asked, we should have not done the talking, done these questions. Quran was not revealed in chronological order. You all know that, right? For Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi, first revelation. Where is it in the Quran? Oh, good job. All the way at the end. And she said, Bar, go for you, girl. How do you give dawah to non-Muslims and prove that? Oh, yeah, yo. Can I bring up the homosexuality thing for a second? Real scholars of Islam are able to tackle this. Can we just make one thing very clear to everyone in this room? All the homophobes, all of them, kill them in the gym. In Islam, we hate sin, not sinners. In Islam, we hate sin, not those affected by that sin. We don't hate homosexuals. I know that's very uncomfortable to hear. I don't know why, because I asked it this much, and one of the great scholars of the past said it. Because why do we judge each other when we all just sin differently? I didn't pray Fajr, and Sister May has said a lie. We still sin, so am I judging her? I didn't pray Fajr. People. Any real advice, fake advice? Y'all should learn Quran. Any real advice on how to study, stay committed to studying Arabic. Don't stay committed to studying Arabic. To answer the question, any real advice? Don't make Arabic the goal. I love Sheikh Shakil, I love all that's going on, I love Bayan, I love all the Arabic institutes. I'm going to put this down on paper for you. The entire Quran is made up of 569 vocabulary words. 500. 10 words a week. And in a year, the entire Quran is made up of 569 words. 80% of the Quran is that. Don't make Arabic your goal. Make Quran your goal. Make your goal this Ramadan. When Shaykh says, وَإِذْ قَالَ مُوسَى لِقَوْمِهِ, and when Moses said to his, and remember when Moses said to his people, oh my people, boom! You don't need to know anything else. Musa is, I'm talking. What are those naughty Jews going to do? That's all you need to know. That's really, why make Arabic focus? And then after that, once you're done, here's your second tip. It's called the Umar series. Any fan? Oh, that's what's up, baby. The Umar series just type in Umar series, YouTube. It's mind-blowing. They spent $15 million shooting the life of Umar radiallahu ta'ala in a cinematography. I mean, it's fantastic, it's amazing. Whole thing's in Fusha, it's like Arabic out of a stream. The Arabic is so perfect, and it's in Arabic, it has subtitles, and it's got 30 episodes. I mean, sorry, Pretty Little Liars just got to run for their money. Okay, so where the tafsir videos from Ramadan? Oh, fam, I'm sorry. So anyone who attended, we did 120 hours of the study of tafsir. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us for our shortcomings. A lot happened. That's all I can say. A lot happened to them. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us. Can you just open them for me? If God loves you so much, oh, beautiful. I gotta talk on this. Okay. So if God loves us so much, okay. La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu minadh dhalimin. No question about Allah is stupid. Ever. When I say Allah loves you, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, the woman that you just hear the explanation, the woman you peed on for a year and a half, Allah loves you more than her 70 times greater. Allah loves us, friend. You don't understand. When you are alone and mom is not there, Allah loves you. If Allah loves you so much, why would He put you through difficulty and calamity? I will be discussing that May 12th at the Connecticut Muslim Center. There's I think only one Muslim there. Connecticut? Any Connecticut? I was born in Connecticut. By the way, your paper is super cool. It's like wet. That's awesome. You've got a pen that writes on wet paper. Why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you difficulty? I'll just give you this much. This is my child. I keep telling him he's good, he's good, he's good, he's good, he's good. What do you do to parents eventually when they keep complimenting you? Yeah, just kind of like, yeah, whatever, pops. Now, when he goes through a little bit of difficulty, your mom takes something away from you, what is the purpose? You start to recognize what you don't have. Allah puts us through difficulties, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number one, because He's Allah and He can do whatever He wants and He knows what's best for us. Number two, when Allah puts you through difficulty, what do you do, man? When your hijab doesn't match your socks, what do you do? You start praying to Him more. But when you're all dolled up and everything looks fantastic, you say, I look gorgeous. Allah puts a little pimple on your face, you love Him now. Or what do you do then? You put niqab on. If I was to sit here, I would wear niqab. I would roll my eyes at everybody. Would be like, and they wouldn't even be able to tell. They would just see my eyes. That'd be awesome. Go hijab. My whole family wears niqab sister. It's okay. Yeah, those are done. So I've taken permission from my sister. Sister, do I have your permission? And non-niqab. He's like, take up that towel. Take up that towel. Do you recommend as far as dialogue with people who do not have interest in listening? Your responsibility. If someone's not interested, if someone is not interested in listening, your job is to give the message. Your job is only to give the message, not to make people listen. That whole 1990s Islam where we used to yell and scream, kafir, mushrik. Remember that? No? Hardcore brothers would be like, they were Muslim thugs. They were, Please. Your job is to give the information to people and to deliver the message and then make dua. Hadith of the rabbi who became Muslim. Afshu salam. Meet people before you give da'wah. Simple. Say, hey, how's everything? Good morning. Nice to meet you. When you call AT&T customer service, hey, how are you doing? They introduce themselves by name. Say, how are you doing today, Cindy? How are you doing today, Mark? How's everything? Find out that they're fine. Hey, I had a quick question. Afshu salam, at'imu ta'am, and then feed people. Brothers, this has been working flawlessly. I said it 2 years at Ikra. You get to the Dunkin' Donuts counter. You get a cup of coffee. You gotta be a little careful on this one. You know how big it is. You order your coffee. Brothers, you only do this to brothers. Run to a club, be like, yo, brother Usam sent to buy you a drink. Get to the Dunkin' Donuts counter. It hasn't been working great. It works great in California. People are blown away. You get to the counter, you buy a cup of coffee. You politely turn over your right shoulder and say, hey, what are you having today? No hi, no break yet. Just, hey, what are you having? Most people just automatically say, I'm having a medium coffee. You turn forward, I'll take a medium coffee too. You pay for it. Then after that, give them dawah? No! Just smile and say, I hope you have a great day. Oh, I don't want this to... Just say, pass it on. The next person you see, feed them. And then this works phenomenally. Do it for a cop, do it for a doctor. I usually will find, I was in Orlando, I was wearing a $3,000 suit. I know my suits, trust me. This guy's wearing a $3,000 suit, I made sure to pay for him. He was like, I hope you have a fantastic day. That was So, feed the people. If someone's not interested in this, I know college students, you guys like to do this, be hardcore, Quran and Sunnah. That's great. I ain't going to do jack for you. I mean, if you want to go get a punching bag or something, don't bring Quran and start banging like, hey, have love. Motivation to read. How do you need motivation to read Quran? This is a great one. How do you need motivation to read Quran? It's the book of Allah. I mean, it's magical. And if you really need motivation, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, for every letter that you read, Allah gives you 10 blessings. And then Allah, وَمِثْلُهُ 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 وَمِثْلُهُ. Allah takes the 10 blessings you get, multiplies them by 5. Even better, by the way. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said in the books of Tirmidhi, the comparison between the book of Allah, Quran, and any other speech, Rihanna's latest CD, I don't know, who just came up with a CD? I don't know. Shakira? She's still alive? Allahumma hdina fi man hadayt. Allah give hidayah to everyone. The comparison between the speech of Allah and any other speech is the comparison between Allah and His slave. Quran is beautiful, bro. You just gotta get into it. You want me to read it in a British accent? Hell no. Any translation of the Quran? Sorry. Good translation. I like Noble Quran. There's another one by Sheikh Hamid, The Gracious Quran. But who wrote that one? It's like $150 for the translation. It's pretty well. It's called The Gracious Quran. Dr. Hamid. Right. How would we know, brother? That's your job. They said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will answer your prayer as long as you believe He will. No. You do not have to believe Allah will answer your prayer. There are only three things that happen when you make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Either Allah accepts your prayer, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala averts a calamity from you. Or number three, you make dua as companions used to make dua for shoelaces. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not give it to you here. You will go on the day of judgment. You will tell the angels, those aren't my good deeds. The angels will say, no, that's every dua you ever made that Allah didn't give it to you immediately. The man on the day of judgment, the woman on the day of judgment will say, Allah, I wish none of my du'as were ever heard. Ask Allah, ask Allah, ask Allah for beauty, ask Allah for everything. Brothers, every time you drink from the tree, right? Every time you, not you guys, not me, every time you do your layup, say, Allahumma zidna min. Allah, increase it from where it came from. And then you play ball like the West Coast. Oh, about to kill it in the parking lot. Say a person has been praying for something a long time and it doesn't come true. May I just quickly, Ibrahim alayhi salam built the Kaaba. He built the Kaaba and said, Allahumma taqabbal minna. He built the Kaaba and said, oh Allah, please accept from me. Then he said, oh Allah, bring a Nabi from the end of my ummah. Did he ever see Muhammad Rasulullah? Him, ask Allah and then act like it's going to happen anyway. The one thing that I have to put, because you know what this question is about. Y'all been praying for some brother's love. Y'all been praying for something. Oh no, right? You've been praying for that person. All I ask you is this much. You don't know what if there is good for you, and you don't know if there is evil for you. Ask Allah for pious spouse. Ask Allah, رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّاتِنَا قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ وَاجْعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ Imam 74, Surah 25. And did anyone take Quranic supplications in here? Who needs to teach us Quranic supplication? You took? Okay, so I definitely recommend that you guys take Quranic supplications. It's the study of the 30 Rabbanas in the Quran. It's fantastic. How much is lowering the... Actually, lowering a woman's gaze is stressed in the Quran. Sisters, may I unplug here for a second? Men look only with one eye. Men, well, just like... I'm done. Man, that came out wrong. Thanks, Auntie, for throwing me under the bus. Not you, boy. What you need to understand is, sisters, men have the ability to look, and they're always going to look that way. Lowering your gaze is when you know that you're looking more than you. Women have the ability to look at something and then... when that happens, lower your gaze. Other than that, look. Does that make sense? Men don't have that filter. It's always on. Right, fam? For real. Okay. Sisters, you know, it's different. Women don't look. Women stand in a way to be looked at. That's what you need to do. You don't need to lower your gaze. A girl from Nigeria tweeted me once, and she was like, oh, I get a lot of flack because I talk about hijab and niqab a lot, in a positive way. So she said, brother, tell the sisters, men might have to lower their gaze, but women are in charge of what they get to look at the first time. Dun, dun, dun. Word, I hear you. I did that too when I read it. I was like, yes, she did. So, sisters, it's not so much that you need to lower your gaze. You need to realize one thing. You just need to understand this. Please, eye contact on this for a second. You all are the most single, gorgeous creatures on this earth. Whether you accept that she's prettier and she's like, who cares? We don't care. Accept this. Then you will reflect this on the inside. You only cover what is beautiful. So if you can accept that, I think you'll do okay. But you cover your eyes. There's weird sisters, hijabi sisters on Facebook. I'm in love with such and such sheikh. I mean, look, you're going to laugh, right? I know all those sheikhs' wives. They make all sorts of du'as against you. Remember that day when you were combing your hair and a big clump of hair came out? That was her dua. For real, for real. I used to memorize Quran, but I've been stuck on the juz 3 years. I can't make myself. If you lost relationship with Quran, I can only tell you this much. If you've lost a relationship with the Quran, it has to do with something. A teacher said this to me once and I really negated myself. No, Shaykh, nah, it's a cultural thing. He said music and Quran could not be in the same box, in the same, music haram, just stop with the haram button. If I told you fecal matter, dog fecal matter was halal, you would go get it? Fecal matter, it means juki. There might be something in your life that's affecting. Brothers, we're not music inclined. There's those things that our eyes wander on late at night when no one's looking. Allah gave us something called Jannah. The internet gave us something called Jannah. Stay away from those things. They'll cut you off from the Quran. Sisters, we're supposed to control one body part, you're supposed to control this body part, between the lips. I encourage you, if you feel like you have some issue with the lack of, make tawbah, cry to Allah. Want it like you want that brother. Right? Right? You have the Arthi, no one watches Arthur. Arthur? Yeah, there you go, mashallah. It has nothing to do with the topic. I have 2 questions, because I forgot. Who's the guy with the football hat? No, that's the Hey Arnold! You know the girl in Hey Arnold? She has the Arthi in her room. She has a picture of Arthur in her room. Not Arthur. Hey Arnold. Sorry. My weakness. Make dua. Is it better to raise your hands or make dua in sujood? Okay, is it better to make dua, raise your hands or make sujood? قِيَامَ الَّذِينَ يَذْكُرُونَ اللَّهَ قِيَامًا وَقُعُودًا وَعَلَى جُنُوبِهِمْ. Make dua in every situation. What is the only act of ibadah that you can do even when you're najas? When you are dirty, filthy, you have excrement on your body, what's the only act of ibadah that you can do if you need to? I'm pointing out, if you're coming out of dua. If you have just committed intercourse, you can make dua. In sajda, make dua everywhere. Okay. What's the best way to forgive a sin? There are 4 stages to tawbah. Number 1, recognize that what you did is wrong. Say it with your mouth. Allah, missing fajr is wrong. Allah, pornography is wrong. Say it. Allah, chatting with this girl, even though we're going to get married, it's wrong. Say it. Number 2, recognize it and say astaghfirullah. Number 3, replace it with a good deed. Number 4, set up parameters so that you don't commit that sin again. If you have internet issues, put up a net nanny. If you gossip, don't talk to those girls. Sisters, I just want to let you know I've been doing a lot of, it's starting to creep up in girls a lot. Pornography is becoming a very big issue. Very big issue. Not the kind that you're thinking about. It's a lot of anime, cartoon stuff. Oh, the story is good. I'm telling you, stop. I'm telling you right now, I'm dealing with hijab, I'm dealing with everything. They're either cutting themselves with blades, because no one's ever told them they're beautiful. Dua. Make dua for them. Allahumma ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Allah guide them. No one's ever told them they're beautiful. Huh? Their father said, you're not covered enough. They get to the masjid, they're haram, they're dirty. They get outside, their best friend's like, oh, you don't need to wear that. I'd be confused. I have no idea. Tell each other that you're beautiful. And number 2, when you watch these sitcoms, and there's this going on and that, well, I'm not a guy, it's okay to watch. It's a disease, just be careful. One of the best ways to start giving dawah. Best way to start giving dawah to non-Muslims, smile, carry yourself in a clean way, do etiquette, do public service. Do not focus on giving people dawah to believe in Allah. Fulfill the rights of human beings. What advice do you give to someone trying to replace music? Oh, this is good. Okay, here's my thing with music. It's a reality. We're not going to be able to finish it. We're not going to be able to cut music immediately. Music is one of the only activities in the world, there are a few other ones, I'm sure you can list them, that your entire brain takes part in it. I'm going to cut this. I'm going to end here. In order to fuse music out, quarantine music like a virus. Only on Thursday, between the hours of 7 to 10, I can listen to music. And then you need to have a few times to do it. And all the other times, listen to Quran. Number 1. Number 2, when you do listen to music, I'm not joking, make dua for the artist. Little Wayne was in the hospital where one of our friends works. I live, right? Little was in the hospital, OD'd out, he had seizures. Now this is not funny, he didn't pass out, he didn't black out, he was having seizures because of the scissor. He ain't sipping on anything anymore. So, make dua for him. And then, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to put the love of Quran in your heart. To what extent dawah? Y'all are into dawah, mashallah. No one in California is, no? They're just chilling. Dawah is an obligation. The question is how are you going to be giving dawah? Dawah, let's face it guys, if your parents came up to you and told you to do something, do you do it? Nah, that's why you're here. Truly, when your parents do something, action, then you do it. Become a beacon of example. Like a beacon of example? It's late. Do action, serve mankind, go to a soup kitchen, go to a graveyard, sweep the masjid, iron someone's clothes, go to a wedding and be there to help out, not to doll yourself up. Brothers, so many things that we can do. How many people have never volunteered at a cerebral palsy clinic, at a Down syndrome clinic? Oh, I can't be around them, they drool. Ish, what happens when you get into a car accident, your frontal lobe is damaged? Please, let's get out there. Islam has been in America. Imam Siraj al-Haq and the great ulama of our life has laid the foundation for us to be Muslim. Now let's be Muslim. Let's go serve the community. Talking about, let's convert. You can convert 1,500 people to Islam and then do what with them? Because he's black, you won't marry your daughter to him. Because he's white, because of this. There's nothing to call to yet. Serve people. Serve them. They will come to Islam. What do the do's and don'ts of making supplication while says that? Does language matter? Yes. That's all I know for now. Imam Sheikh Yasir Qadhi has a different story. If I may, I think I did my best. Everything that's clean and pure is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Mistakes, misrepresentations are my own. If I did not get to your question, then I ask you for forgiveness. Could we stop this for a second? One of my teachers, I cannot take him as a teacher, one of my mentors, someone I look up to genuinely, Sheikh Sulaiman Mullah, he did this once and it blew me away. He's a grand mufti, he's a teacher of Bukhari. We were sitting in a group of like 5,000 people. He made dua for every person who was drunk that night. Every person who was high that night. I was shaking inside. We all feel super religious because we talked about Allah. What about the guy at the bottom of a Jack and Coke right now who's saying, I hate myself? Can we pray for them? اللهم إني أعوذ بك من زوال نعمتك وتحول عافيتك وفجاءة نعمتك وجميع سخطك. اللهم طهر قلوبنا من النفاق. Oh Allah, save all of us from hypocrisy. وأعمالنا من الرياء, and our actions from being shown off. وألسنتنا من الكذب, and our tongues from telling lies. وأعيننا من الخيانة, and our eyes from treachery. فإنك تعلم خائنة الأعين. Allah, you know the treachery of our eyes. وما تخفي الصدور, and what is buried deep in our subconscious. Oh Allah, we ask that you ease the night of those who have indulged in haram. Allah, make them happy, fulfill their needs, lessen their pain. And all those who want to give da'wah, do not make us judgmental. Make us amongst those who have love for the deen and bring people close to the love of Allah. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا. If you know it, read it with me. رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا. Oh Allah, take care of both of our parents, the way they fed us, the way they raised us, and the way that they taught us manners. Allow us to take care of them in that much patience when the way they took care of us when we were young and they get old. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khairan, Queen's College. I didn't know if y'all would come out, so thank you for coming out.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This one thing that I wanted to say is that we really should be, when we have these events, there's a lot of effort and preparing that goes on into these events. So I want you to also make sincere dua for the volunteers that organize these types of events. It takes really a lot of effort. The chairs are facing the windows, so